Hello everyone and welcome to my Spindel guide, one of the new wilderness bosses with the new update. Now Spindel is the singles plus solo version of Venenatis, which is the multi-boss found later on in the wilderness. Now I've had some real life issues including a broken computer, so my entire setup has changed. So if anyone notices any disparities in video quality, audio quality or anything like that, please let me know in the comments because I need to fix them as soon as possible. Anyways, on to the guide. Now, as stated, Spindel is a one-on-one boss encounter that is in a singles plus area in the wilderness, which means other players can attack you while you're killing the boss. So, to make sure you don't lose anything valuable, make sure your PK skull prevention is on and only take 3 to 4 valuable items. Spindel is located in a new cave, I believe called the Web Chasm, which is up here. And to get there, I'm just going to be running up from the east of Ferox. So let's go do that now. I'd also recommend a one-click teleport whenever you're in the wilderness, so bear that in mind. As you can see, when you get here, there will be a new cave entrance right here. Now, my energy is a little low, so I would recommend bringing a stamina. I just totally forgot. Now, there's a couple of things to go over just before we get into the boss, and that is if you right-click the cave entrance, there is a check fee option. And this is because it costs 50,000 GP to get into the boss lair. However, every kill you get reduces your next boss kill lair payout by 10,000. So if you kill 5 bosses and die to a PKer, you can then enter the cave for free because you got 5 kills. If you got 3 kills, you'd still have to pay 20k. You can pay this from the bank, so you don't have to bring any coins with you. As well as that, there is a peak option, but as you can see in my chat box, you cannot actually use this until you have killed the boss 20 times. When you've killed the boss 20 times, you can peek on here and see how many people are in the cave. Now, let's get into the boss fight. This is a good time to show. If someone's in your world, this can attack you when someone else is attacking it, you just can't attack back. But to get out, you simply exit the cave at this end and you are straight back where you started. And we've finally found a world. Now, this is a very simple fight. It's a 4-phase fight and them cycles repeat themselves. We'll go over the cycles a little bit later on, but for now we need to go over 2 of its attacks. The Spindel has 2 special attacks. One is a mage special attack and one is a range special attack. The magic special attack is an attack that causes web to come on the floor, and if you stand in it you take 3 damage per tick and you get 10 run energy drain per tick. So if you don't bring stamina pots and you are unlucky enough to fall into this trap, if a PKer comes, you are not getting away. So bringing a stamina pot is highly recommended. Its range special attack, it spawns 2 spiderlings, and these can be killed very easily. Every fight so far, I have always killed them in 1 hit. I'm not sure if that's 100% of the time, but they are very easy to kill regardless. These spiderlings don't hit much, but if they do get on you, they will drain prayer points with every hit, so be wary and kill them as soon as possible. Now we understand these 2 special attacks, let's move on to the actual fight and the phases within. Spindel will attack with all 3 attack styles. It has a magic attack that looks like this, a ranged attack which looks like this, and a melee attack which looks like this. Now, if you're ranging the boss, it will never melee you unless you get into melee distance, which is just 1 tile for this boss it seems. But if you are using a vigorous chain mace or another crush weapon, you will obviously get meleeed. Now, the fight has 4 phases. It'll always start with range, and it'll do 2 range phases, then 2 magic phases. On the first ranged phase, it'll spawn spiderlings, and on the first magic phase, it'll spawn the webs. On the second range and second magic phase, all it does is attack you, so it's very, very easy. On the first phase, the range special phase, Spindel will spawn spiderlings on basically the first attack, so make sure you're ready to kill them. However, on the magic special phase, the web attack comes on the 3rd attack. So when it swaps over to magic, its first and second attack is just a magic attack, and its 3rd attack is a magic attack with the webs. You'll see this as 2 projectiles like so. If you see the second projectile, run about 3 tiles away and you will dodge the web completely. It is worth noting the web will stick around for around 2 phases, which means don't stand in it or you will be in for some trouble. Now, whenever Spindel goes to a new phase, it'll actually physically move location. Sometimes it only moves a tile and it'll go into the same location, but it'll always move a little bit so you will be able to see when it's changing. Each phase is generally 4 attacks, So the ranged special phase comes, and then there's 4 ranged attacks, and then it'll move location, and then another 4 ranged attacks, and then it'll move location, and then it'll do 4 magic attacks, but on the 3rd it'll spawn webs, and then it'll move location, and then it'll do 4 magic attacks. Rinse and repeat. Let's show a full example kill in real time because it is a quick fight, and we'll go through every single thing that we've just discussed. First things first, you wait for Spindel to spawn. When it spawns, you put on Protect from range and Rigor or Eagle Eye, whatever you've got, and you attack the boss. Now on its first attack, it'll spawn 2 spiderlings, so you have to deal with them as soon as possible, and then get straight back on the boss. After around 4 range hits, it'll move location, and then it'll do 4 more ranged hits. When it moves again, it'll swap to a magic attack, so make sure to swap to Protect from magic as soon as possible, because sometimes it can be very quick. On the 3rd attack, as you can see, it throws out an extra projectile. Now, you have to run to avoid that, and then when it moves, it'll do 4 more magic attacks. And then it'll repeat. So when it moves again, it'll do a ranged attack and spawn spiderlings, which again, kill as soon as possible. And then it'll move location again and do 4 ranged attacks. As you can see, it only moved 1 tile that time, so do be wary of that. Attack number 4, and then it's going to move again and do magic. And then on the 3rd hit again, watch where my mouse is, it will throw an extra projectile and you just move out of the way. Then it'll move location and do 4 magic attacks. Then it'll move location and do 4 ranged attacks with spawning spiderlings again, and it is just as easy as that, rinse and repeat. Until the boss is dead. And then you wait around and repeat. When doing this boss properly, you're going to take 0 damage. But this is not the end of the guide because there are a couple of things I'd like to go over. Firstly, if you want a quick way to kill the spiderlings, you can bring a multi-hit attack like a Venator Bow, Ching Chompers, or a Barrage. But it's not really worth it because you kill them really quick anyway before they even get to you. You'll speed up your kills by maybe 3 ticks. But it is an option. Next, if you are doing a melee method, obviously I do not showcase it in this video. But if I stand next to Spindel with the bow equipped, you can see how the melee functions. If you stand next to the boss on any phase, it will melee you, whether it's the range phase or the mage phase. If you are next to it, it will attack you with melee. Because of this, Vigorous Chain Mace and other melee weapons are actually viable and probably more damage than the crossbow. The thing that you've got to be wary of is the magic attack. So if you're not counting the phases properly, its 3rd attack will still do the webs on the 1st magic phase. And it's still being called a magic phase even though it will be meleeing you. So it'll be the 3rd melee attack in that case. So you do have to watch out for that. Another thing is that when it changes locations, you will have to quickly flick on a range or magic prayer to avoid the 1st attack and then swap to melee. So using melee on it is probably better, but it's a lot more intensive, so do bear that in mind. If you are new to bossing or just killing it to be chill, I do recommend the crossbow instead, as it is still very effective. Honestly, simple boss, there's not much to go in for tips and tricks or anything as of yet, it's just a nice, simple, relaxed fight with a very simple pattern. And I love it, I genuinely really like it. I love all spider-esque bosses in this game, Sarachnis is similar, they're just nice and simple, chilled out, and this one has a potential to drop some really good loot and an awesome looking pet. I hope this video helped. If it did, drop a like and a subscribe. I'm going to make some more guides on the wilderness bosses. Like I said, I've been ill, my computer balked, so I would have had these out on Wednesday, which would have been great for anyone wanting to get into the bosses, but they were probably packed anyway, so who's the real winner? If you notice any obvious video issues or audio issues, I will get them fixed. I do believe I recorded this in 720p instead of 1080, so that is one thing to fix for next time. Thanks for watching, love you and leave you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!